Gon' vote. Everybody gon' vote. Everybody gon' vote. Everybody gon' vote. Comrade! Labor right, them a go down, bong. Them a go down, bong. Them a go down. Is that? Margie, him a God picking. No hope their work if you touch Margie. Margie, him a God picking. No hope their work if you touch Margie. We now vote for Labor. Orange we a come out in now. If you love the PNP, who no step out for Marky G. Jamaica just come along with we. People time come, people time come, people time is up.
Only thing that's on my mind is who's gonna run this town tonight.
Yeah, I say that we are. Pledge your allegiance.
Who's gonna run this town tonight?
Yeah, I say that we are.
We gonna run this town.
Make the trumpets play. Make the trumpets play.
Court quashed or thrown out. He's asking for what is called judicial review of the Integrity Commission's actions. Now, judicial review is not an appeal from the decision that was made by the Integrity Commission. What it is for the court to look and see and decide whether the Integrity Commission made its decision in a way that was fair and according to law. Just a reminder as well that judicial review is a two-stage process. So if you want to apply for judicial review, you first have to apply for leave or permission to apply for judicial review. A little convoluted, I know. So if the court grants you leave or permission to apply for judicial review, then you now move on to the next stage, which is a full hearing of the issues. And the whole idea is to get rid of the cases that are a waste of time, that don't have any substance to them. So the Prime Minister was at the first stage. He had applied for leave to apply for judicial review. The Supreme Court has now ruled on his application and has granted leave or permission in relation to part of the application and refused part. So let's break down what happened. Dr. Holness and the 3 companies associated with him were asking the court for a whole heap of things, 28 remedies in all. Not going to go through all of them, don't worry, although in my videos I did. So you again, look below and you can look at the previous videos I did that went into very great detail in terms of what the Prime Minister was asking for. So the Prime Minister wanted some orders of certiorari. These are also called quashing orders, and what they mean is orders to throw out or nullify a decision that had been made by the Integrity Commission. The Prime Minister and his team are also asking for orders of Mandamus. Now, these are orders that would have the court making an order to compel the Integrity Commission to do something. Then they wanted some declarations for the court to make certain rulings on issues of law. Now, as I said, the court granted some of what the Prime Minister was asking for and refused some. First of all, what did the court grant permission for? The court granted leave to apply for judicial review, to apply for an order quashing the findings, conclusions, and recommendations in the investigation report on the Prime Minister's statutory declarations. Now, this is a report that raised the question of illicit enrichment and raised the question as to whether the Prime Minister's income was sufficient to explain his wealth. So you can understand why he would want this particular report quashed. The Integrity Commission's legal team said they didn't think this application would succeed, but they didn't oppose it. And I should say, even if they hadn't opposed it, the court would have granted leave in relation to this part of the application anyway, because the court said there was enough evidence to satisfy what is called the threshold test, meaning that there was enough evidence to show that there was an arguable case with a realistic prospect of success. In other words, there's enough evidence there to show that this particular part of the application wasn't a time-wasting exercise. The court also granted leave to apply for judicial review to apply for an order quashing the Integrity Commission's special report. Now, this was a one-page report that said, among other things, that the matter of the declarations had been referred to the Financial Investigations Division and that there would be no finality in the matter until the Financial Investigations Division had finished its work. What the court said is that the special report was so connected to the investigation report on the statutory declarations that it too was tainted with any illegality that the investigation report might have. So since the two of them were so interconnected, the court said if it granted leave in relation to one, then it would have to grant leave in relation to the other, and that's what it did. Then the Prime Minister wanted some orders of Mandamus, as I said. These are orders that the court can make compelling the Integrity Commission to do something. So the Prime Minister was asking for an order compelling the Director of Information and Complaints to examine Mr. Holness's 2022 and 2023 statutory declarations. The court refused this, saying that the director's unchallenged evidence was that he had examined the Prime Minister's statutory declarations for 2021, 2022, and 2023. Since courts don't believe they must waste their time, or to use their language, act in vain, the court said it would not direct the director to do something he had already done. The Prime Minister also wanted an order to compel the Integrity Commission to comply with Section 32 of the Integrity Commission Act. Now, that's a section of the Act that sets out the duties of the Director of Information and Complaints, and also wanted an order to compel the Integrity Commission to comply with Section 42 of the Integrity Commission Act. That's a section that deals with examining statutory declarations. This was refused. The court said neither of those sections, neither Section 32 nor Section 42, imposed any duty, any statutory duty on the Integrity Commission. The Prime Minister also wanted an order compelling the Director of Investigations to recommend to the Integrity Commission that the Prime Minister be exonerated of culpability in relation to the 2021 and 2022 statutory declarations, meaning he wanted the court to tell the Integrity Commission to say he had done nothing wrong. The court refused. The court said it cannot and will not usurp, meaning take over, the decision-making powers of public bodies and public officers, and therefore, on that basis, refused leave to apply. Finally, the Prime Minister was asking for a number of declarations. Among the most significant of those is the one asking for the Integrity Commission Act to be struck down, and also asking for the section of the Corruption Prevention Act dealing with the offense of illicit enrichment of public servants to be struck down. And I say those are among the most significant because Dr. Holness was Prime Minister when the Integrity Commission Act was passed. Also, the crime of illicit enrichment is supposed to help to deter public servants from corrupt activities like taking bribes. Anyway, the court said those types of declarations don't need the permission of the court to go ahead. The same for the Prime Minister's application for an order to end the investigation into his statutory declarations. One of the Prime Minister's lawyers told me that they will be going ahead with the applications for those declarations, so it's going to be really interesting to see what happens there. So what happens now? The case comes to the court again on January 7, 2025. On that date, we can expect to see a date fixed for the full hearing of the matter. Lawyers for both sides told me they're expecting that the court will set an early date for the hearing because of the huge public interest in this matter.